Hi everyone, Nikki from G-Buzz. Just a short one this morning. It's Sunday, so I'll give you a break, but not much of a break. Just wanted to let you know that when we're in our lecture, we read up all this material of theological facts, but also we get a side story to make it more human and more relatable. So the side story, I'll make it short and sweet today, is when Jesus and his disciples were going to Samaria, and they were traveling, towards the Jordan River, and he was accosted in a nice way from a Greek man who had heard some of his preaching, and with him he brought a young boy with a father. Now the father was deaf and mute. The little boy said to Jesus, "My father's never heard my voice, and he's never spoken, and he's never been able to say my name. He's deaf and mute." And yes, sorry, no political correctness, because this is AD 33 AD, so there was no political correctness about using the terminology of ability. So the Greek man kind of said, "Look, I've got something very important to say to Jesus, right? This is important." And Jesus said to the little boy, "No, this is very important too. Tell your father, to come to me." And of course the father was just, using gestures, saying, this and that. And Jesus just put his hands here, touched his vocal cords, looked up, just did his work, his magic, his work. And the man fell to his knees because he could hear the birds sing. And Jesus said, "That's just the birds. That's how they sound." And the disciples went, "Wow, we can't even hear that." And he stood up and he goes, "Oh, the sound of your voice." And then he turns around and says, "Oh, the sound of my voice," because he's never heard his own voice. He turns around and looks at his son and he goes, "Your name is Kaletafi. Am I saying that correctly?" And of course the son goes, yes you did. And they were just hugging and dancing out of laughter, anything like that. But Jesus said, "I want you to promise me you won't tell anyone. It's not my time for everything to become so big and so expanded. So I've done this for you, but please don't tell anyone." And he looked upon the deaf man and said, "Did you hear me?" And the deaf man said, "Well, now I do." And Jesus laughed too. So that's just a light-hearted story and things like that, because Jesus did have a sense of humour. It wasn't all doom and gloom and things like that. So just keep that in mind, that sometimes there could be a miracle with some happiness and giggling in the background. So this is Nikki. I'll let you go. Someone's buzzing me already. No one leaves me alone. So please, look, like this. Just give me a thumbs up, okay, for my lecturer. Thank you. It's Nikki signing off with G-Buzz. God bless.